Lovely. So let's come into a child's pose. So your choice of child's pose, you can have your knees out wide and your big toes together. Bring your bottom to your heels, walking your hands forwards and either resting your head on your arms or a cushion, or arms out long, resting your forehead down. And equally, if your hips are not open, you can bring your knees together to bring your body to your thighs and bring your hands forward again. So your choice of child's pose, Balasana. But when we get here, we're going to lengthen out, bring our forehead down towards the mat. Close your eyes. Lengthen out your body, so you should feel a really nice stretch already to start with, right from your tailbone to the top of your neck. First of all, allow the arms to be heavy, just resting on the mat. Come to the breath, so close your mouth, relax the jaw, and focus on those inhales and exhales. Really allow that belly to grow on the inhale, filling up that space in the ground from your torso right down. And on the exhale, allow your body to get heavier. So really allowing that body to come down towards the mat. And then to get some external rotation in our shoulders, we're going to flip the palms to face up, tucking those elbows under. Bring your head back down if you raised it, and just take a moment here for your body to adjust to that stretch in your shoulders. Breathing there. The next inhale, bringing your palms together. Bring your thumbs towards the base of your neck and pressing into the elbows. So on the inhale, you press into the elbows. And on the exhale, you slightly release. So take those thumbs away, take the pressure off the elbows. And on the inhale, press. Exhale, release. Inhale, press. Exhale, release. Bring those palms back down to the mat and then just gently rock your hips side to side, bringing your weight over to one side and the other. So gentle waves, we inhale, coming to one side. Exhale to center. Inhale to the left. So just that gentle movement, really releasing that tension in the lower back, the hips. It's a nice massage for your forehead if that's down on the ground. If you've got glasses like me, you might want to take them off. Don't break them. And then looking up at your hands to get that length, let's take our fingertips to the mat. So your arms are off the mat. Your fingertips are on the mat. Keep the arms off the mat, but lower your head and chest back down. You should be starting to feel that stretch right into your pectoral muscles. If you're not, walk those hands further away. Breathing there, your bottom will want to lift, so concentrate on your hips still being heavy. And then taking the gaze up to your hands, let's walk the hands off the right side of your yoga mat or your practice space. Walk the hands away from you because they'll want to snuck back in, and then lower yourself down. Your left hip will be lifting, so really focus on drawing that left hip down and that left hand away from you. Breathing there, head can be heavy. Enjoying that deep side stretch. Releasing that tension before we contract our side muscles, our obliques. Walk the hands to center. Off the left side of your mat, draw that right hip down. Walk that right hand away from you and bring that forehead down. The arms are off the ground. Breathing there. Fully and deeply. Inhale, rising up, look at those hands, bring the hands forwards, press into the palms to lift your hips up. Walk one knee in, can't speak, one knee in if it's out wide, followed by the other. Spreading those fingers wide and just tick-tock those hips side to side. So we're just going to work on stretching out the back and the tummy first of all in these warm-up exercises. So I'd like you to bring your right knee in between your hands, thread that right foot over the left knee. So it's like crossing your legs, but you're on all fours, and then exhale, bring your bottom towards your heels. Allow your head to be heavy. This is a lovely stretch into the lower spine. Inhale, that right knee comes back up and thread that right foot back to all fours. Inhale, bring that left knee forwards. Exhale, hooking it over the right knee, bringing your bottom down towards your heels, keeping your hands where they are. Your hands are glued to the floor, to the mat. Inhale, we rise that left knee up, lift the knee and back. One more time each side. So inhale that right knee up, slide it over and back as you exhale. Inhale, coming forwards, unhook, all fours, left knee forwards, slide back and down. Lovely. Inhale, coming up. Come back to those all fours. If you need a little break from the pressure in your hands, just bring the backs of your palms together, maybe rotate the wrists. If you are still in all fours, thinking about our alignment, so bring that belly button to your spine, you're tucking tailbone under, so we have that beautiful flat spine. Fingers are spread wide. Bring your shoulders back. So it's like I'm there in your room, drawing your shoulders back with my hands. The tendency is to hunch here. So physically draw those shoulders back. Drop the belly down, stick your bottom out. Inhale, take the gaze up. Exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Press into the mat, begin to curl that spine. Curl, 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 curl. Look between your legs. And then inhale, we come back through, rolling that spine. It's a really lovely fluid motion with that breath. Exhale, we press the ground away. Really arch that back, making that lovely N shape with our body. Inhale, looking through, shoulders right back. Take the gaze up. Lovely. One more repetition. Exhale. And inhale, coming through to that cow stretch. You can bend your elbows slightly. And then let's slide our legs back. Allow the hips to come down towards the mat, bending your elbows, coming all the way down to the mat. Reposition your hands so they're underneath your shoulders. And we begin our core. So your forehead is down. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. And inhale, start with your nose, lifting your head up. Draw the shoulders back, the elbows come towards the hips, look up. Exhale down. So you should be feeling a contraction here in this thoracic spine. Inhale, lifting, our shoulders come back, elbows come down. Exhale, lower. Lovely. As we inhale, we lift, pressing the feet into the floor. Pause here. Maybe lift the hands, testing if it's your back muscles keeping you there or your hands. Exhale the hands down, bringing the head down. Lovely. Now taking the hands off the mat, coming onto the fingertips, take your elbows up to the ceiling. Pause there. It should feel like a nice stretch in your pectoral muscles already. Exhale. And then as you inhale, lead with your head and nose, lifting your chest up, going a little bit higher than we were in that little cobra. Exhale, coming down. Again, we inhale, coming up. Maybe lengthening the arms a touch more. Exhale, come down. This time, inhale, coming up. Really press the feet into the mat. Lift your pubic bone up and maybe lift your hands up into a cactus. Don't hold your breath. The tendency here is to breathe and hold and your face go purple. So focus on that exhale and come down. Bring the hands back down underneath your shoulders. Press into those hands. Peel yourself back. Come back into that child's pose. Allow that spine to recover. Rocking side to side. Breathing there. Lovely. Inhale, come forwards to those all fours. Just take your time to find your structure of your all fours. So 2 fists in between your knees, your hip distance. Fingers spread wide, your elbows and shoulders and wrists are stacked. Breathing here, belly button to spine, so you've got that gorgeous flat back. Tuck the toes here. The next inhale, lift the knees to a hover. Breathe. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So the tendency here is to lift the knees quite high, but challenge your core a little bit more just to a hover. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale down, walk those hands towards your knees. Let's stretch the underside of our feet as a bonus while we rotate the wrists. It's quite a lot of weight and pressure there. Maybe jazz hands, maybe back to the hands together. And roll the shoulders to your ears, down your back. Let's walk those hands forwards again. Spreading the fingers wide. This time as we lift, we're bringing the right foot back, your left knee is still hovering. Bring that right knee in. Exhale, left foot back. Bring that knee in. Lift the hips coming into your downward dog. Pace out those feet. Drawing one heel down and the other. You might want to nod and shake your head. Stepping out your downward facing dog. Inhale, look up at your hands. Slowly bring the knees to a hover. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come down, knees to a hover. Exhale, come back. Lovely. One more time. Inhale, bring the knees to a hover in that all fours. Exhale, come back. Walk those hands back towards those feet, bending your knees. Your head is heavy. Take hold of your elbows with your hands, either pausing in stillness or shift the weight to one foot and the other. So it's like a gentle sway with your breath. Breathing fully there. Just take your time, slowing everything down. Let the arms be heavy. Begin to stack that vertebrae one by one. Bending your knees will protect your hamstrings here. Slowly rolling yourself up. Your head and shoulders come up last. Roll those shoulders up and down your back. Lovely. So thinking about that extension of our spine, bring those shoulders back, bring the hands behind you, take a clasp, lift your chest high, look up at the ceiling, slight back bend as you thrust the hips forwards. And then exhale, release the hands, release the head, begin to roll yourself back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, go slower than you'd like to go. Quite often we rush through our yoga practice, but take the time to slow down. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift halfway, bring those shoulders back, tuck that tailbone in, and you notice your belly comes up as well. Breathing there, slight bend in the knees. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, halfway, hands to shins, gaze forwards, tuck that tailbone under, shoulders come back. Exhale, lower. Walk those hands forwards, walk those feet back so you find yourself in that plank and bring down those knees, unhook the toes, send that right leg back, dial the toes down so your foot is flexed, and on the next inhale, bring that knee towards your nose, bring your chin towards your knee, and then lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, bring that knee in, but this time to your right tricep, your right elbow. Exhale, bringing it back. And then bring it in towards your left, a bit of a twist. Right knee, left elbow. Bring it back. And back in towards your nose, so a big crunch with that knee. And send it back to the right. So just give your hips a swish each side. And we'll repeat on the left. So let's send that left leg back. Toes down towards the mat. Your left hip will want to lift, so bring it back down. Belly button to spine. We bring that knee in towards our nose, that cat arched back. Send it back, keeping it off the ground. And then bring it in towards the left elbow, left tricep. Send it back. And then over to the right elbow or right tricep, turning, twisting. Send it back. One more time in towards the nose, crunch that knee in. And then send it back with your right knee. Tuck your toes here, lift your hips high, walk out your feet, downward facing dog. Let's keep working with that core focus. We inhale, lifting our feet onto tiptoes, and then send the heels over to the left. Shoulders stay forwards. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bring those heels over to the right. Really draw that left shoulder forwards. Inhale, heels high. Plant that left heel down, lift that right leg. Lift it as high as you'd like to go. It doesn't have to go that high. You can go as high as you like. Come onto tiptoes of your left foot. Bring that right knee in towards your nose. Bring that right foot down. Pick it up and bring it forward by your hands. Bring that left knee down, unhook the toes. Bring that left hand down and open up on the right. Let's twist over and open up that chest. Breathe. Lovely. Exhale, take that right hand down. Thinking about back strength here, coming onto fingertips. Press into that right heel. Take your hands back behind you like aeroplane wings. Inhale, rise up. Tuck that tailbone under. Bring that core in. Exhale, bring those hands down. Tuck the left toes. Lift that left knee. When we lift our right foot, slowly, as slow as you can, lift that heel towards the right hip. Slowly taking it back to meet the left. And then press into your downward facing dog. Walking out those feet. Breathe. Pressing both heels into the mat. Lifting that left foot high, three-legged dog, coming onto the tiptoes of the right. Hug that left knee in towards your chest, then in towards your nose. Pause before bringing that left foot down. Might have come down with a clunk, that's okay. Bring that left foot forward with your hands. Bring down that right knee, unhook the right toes. Press that right hand into the mat, open up on the left side, drawing that left hand high to the ceiling. Breathe. Exhale, bring that left hand down, coming onto those fingertips, pressing into that left heel. Take those hands back like aeroplane wings. And then inhale, lifting yourself up. Hands into a clasp, lift that chest. Exhale, return those hands to the mat. Tuck those right toes, lift the right knee. We're pressing really, really hard into our hands to lift our left foot off the mat, lifting it into your hip. Super slowly sending it back to the right, pressing into your downward facing dog. Lovely stuff. Breathing there, take your full deep breath. Inhale, coming forward to your plank. You can either bring down your knees here and lower your body down, or feeling super strong, lift that pubic bone up so your core's contracted, and slowly lower your body all the way down to the mat. When you're there, unhook your toes. Take your hands back behind you, palms are facing up. Your chin is on the mat. Lift that pubic bone up so there's that contraction in your lower back. Inhale, rise your head up, peel your shoulders off the mat. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. It's tempting. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, we lift. Maybe taking those hands off. Maybe turning the palms down to rotate those thumbs to the outside. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale. Rise the head and chest up. Maybe picking the arms up, maybe rotating those wrists. Looking forwards, breathe. This time our hands come forwards. Place down on the mat underneath your shoulders. Press into your hands. Come back to that child's pose. Give your hips a gentle sway, a gentle rock side to side. Inhale, coming up. Tuck the toes, lift to plank, then downward facing dog. We're coming to the peak of the class and we start to calm things down. So give this your max effort. Look between your feet. Breathe, exhale. Lift your right leg high. Three-legged dog. Come on to tiptoes at the left. Shift your body forward so your shoulders are above your wrist and bring that right knee to your right elbow. Send it back. Three-legged dog. Right knee, left elbow. Send it back. Right knee coming through to your nose. I was going to say right nose then, but just your nose. Send it back. And bring your right foot down. Bring your knees down. Unhook your toes. Child's pose. You might want to flip those palms to flip your shoulders. Take the pressure off. You know what's coming. We've got the left sides. Highly, highly recommend focusing on your exhale here. Flip the palms back so they're on the mat. Inhale, rise up. Tuck those toes. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Breathe, exhale. Inhale, lift that left leg high, three-legged dog. Transition your body so your shoulders are above your wrists. Bring that left knee to left elbow. Send it back. Left knee over to the right elbow so you're twisting your body. Send it back. Last one, give it your all. Bring your knee in towards your nose. Send it back. Downward facing dog. Bring your knees out wide. Bring your bottom to your heels. Child's pose. Flip those palms to the ceiling. Breathe. Lovely. You might want to just twinkle those fingers, get that circulation going back into your hands. Press into those palms, lifting onto all fours. Tuck those toes, lift the knees, pressing back into your downward facing dog. Breathing there. Look towards your hands. Walk, step, or hop halfway, crossing your legs. At the top and middle, bringing your bottom down, bringing yourself into our Dandasana pose. So really hard to do when you're sat down all day. You tend to have this posture, particularly if you've got tight hamstrings. So if you find yourself sitting like this, I recommend you bend your knees. If you are sitting more of a right angle, bringing your hands either side as scaffolding to help that posture. In fact, even if you're here, bringing your hands either side of your hips. Draw those shoulder blades back. Lift your pelvic floor. Thinking about that straight, strong spine behind you. Your legs are straight. Flex those toes towards your face so your heels lift. Gazes at your toes. Breathe. Lovely. And release. Step one foot in, where your knee was, step your other foot in, wrap your arms around the top of your shins, allow that spine to curl backwards, look down at your belly. Lovely. Inhale, coming up, coming into a Navasana, so holding onto the top of the shins, coming onto your tiptoes. The tendency here is to balance by finding your lower back. You can see my back is hunched. Think about that chest staying in contact with your knees. So you're on tiptoes. Breathe. So exhale. The next inhale, try to pick one foot up, maybe the other. Maybe take one hand away if that knee doesn't move, maybe the other hand away. If you go like this, just use your fingers to draw those knees back into your chest, breathing there. And cross your ankles, hold your front shin, just release the back, release the spine, lift that chest. Exhale, coming into that pose again, so hugging those knees in, lengthen that spine, really hug them in towards your chest, toes to the mat. Maybe lift those feet up, maybe take one hand away, followed by the other. Don't be too preoccupied with coming into this pose, because what might happen is you might just come into, I don't know, a pasta dish. When we're working on those deep core muscles. Cross the other shin over the top, holding that shin. Let's release in that Sukhasana pose. Lovely. Bringing your feet back down to the mat. Wiggling forwards, a little bit of a bum massage if you're in the middle of your mat. Bringing your hands forwards. As slow as you can, begin to roll your spine down. Super, super slow. So a little bit more core work, but I promise you there's not a sit-up in sight. When you're down on the mat, bring your shoulders up and tuck them underneath you. Bring your feet further in towards your bottom so you can touch your heels. And just working on that transverse abdominis first, I want you to take your fingertips, find your hip bones, and then fully relax so nothing's engaged. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, draw your, in yoga it's called Uddiyana Bandha, but your pelvic floor muscles in. So stop yourself weeing and you should feel your contraction in your lower abs with your fingertips. Inhale to release. And as you exhale, hug everything in. Bring that belly button into your spine. Feel that deep abdominal contraction. And release. And then inhale. Exhale. Squeeze your pelvic floor up. Squeeze your lower abs. And then start to bring your hands away. Find where your heels are big, keep that contraction as you inhale, take your head and shoulders up. Check that core's still on, your lower back's flush to the mat. And we're going to just gently tap the side of our foot, one side and the other side. So this is not like at the gym where we're like doing as many as we can. We're being really mindful, leaning over that tap one side and the other side. Keep checking that lower core is on, switched on, squeezing in that imaginary or maybe real life wee-wee. Keeping everything engaged. One more each side. Lovely. Bring your palms up to the ceiling, lift up further for a second and lower down. Hug one knee into your chest, followed by the other. Gentle rock side to side. Bring those heels down again. Look at your knees. Make sure they're in an exact line with your hip bones. If they're coming out to the side or perhaps coming in, just make sure that if you were to draw a line, they are straight. Your palms are down on the floor. Lift that pubic bone up towards your rib cage. So your lower bottom should have already lifted. Keep that momentum going, peeling off your vertebrae from the mat. Super, super slowly check in with those knees, they're still parallel. Squeezing your glutes, coming all the way up to bridge pose. And then just as slow as you came up, begin to roll that vertebrae down one by one. The glutes are switched on, you can feel them. And release. We do that again, so as we inhale, draw that pubic bone up to your rib cage. Begin to peel your spine off the mat. This time, find your hands underneath your bottom and just rock your shoulders side to side so you can squeeze those shoulder blades underneath you. Really press into those heels to engage the glutes, see if you can lift higher. Breathe. And then slowly release the hands. Slowly roll that vertebrae down. Hugging one knee in and the other. Rocking side to side. Bringing your hands down, palms facing down, bringing your legs up towards the ceiling. And if you feel you've got tight hamstrings here, they can be bent, your knees, to just shorten that hamstring. Sit those shoulder blades underneath you, and then we're going to draw a big circle with our toes. Super, super slow. The slower you can go, the better. So we're inhaling the top half of the circle. Exhaling, drawing that bottom half of the circle. Everything switched on in your core. Switch directions. 2 more circles. Coming up to the top. Hug those knees into your chest. Lift your head and shoulders off, making yourself as small as you can possibly be. And releasing down to the mat. So just before we come into our relaxation, you, in your space that you are, need to come close to a wall or a wardrobe or a space where you're not going to knock anything off the wall. You're going to come close to the wall, lower yourself down so you're really kind of, close to the wall. Bring your hips right up, lower your back down. Use your hand on the wall to bring one foot up, followed by the other. Move those feet along the wall so your bottom is close to the wall. Your knees can be bent or your legs can be straight. Take time to tuck those shoulder blades under. Your palms are facing up. So if you're away from your screen, just look to where I am and come towards the wall to come into this position. When you're there, bringing your hands onto your belly, but your elbows are rested, your shoulders are down. So this is how we're closing our class. When you have your legs at the wall, I invite you to just loosely rest those hands on your belly. But focus today on really inflating that belly into your hands. And as you exhale, it's the muscles that draw that belly in and back towards your spine. When you're in position, just turn your head side to side. Really planting those shoulder blades underneath you. Closing the eyes. Relax the jaw. And coming to your breath. Hands on the belly, that big belly breathing. You are welcome to stay there as long as you like or your day allows. To get out without hurting yourself or knocking any furniture over, you hug your knees into your chest and make yourself as small as you can be, just like we did before. You roll onto one side and then you can come out of that pose. I really hope you enjoyed today's yoga practice and you're feeling strong in your core. It was a strong practice, so you might be feeling a little bit tender. So just enjoy the last few minutes of your relaxation. And I thank you for joining me as always. I will close our class with a namaste. And I really hope to see you here next week. Bye-bye.